And so what we're talking about this week is, are we thinking like the king? Or are we thinking like the slavery we just came out of, which is kingdom of darkness, which is sin? I want to talk today about a man by the name of Gideon. Gideon is a Bible character. He's from the tribe of Manasseh. Manasseh was the son of Joseph. Joseph was the same guy who was sold out by his brothers, sold into slavery, did some time in prison, man, for something he didn't even do. Accused of sleeping around with his boss's wife. But you know what? One day God showed up in Gideon's life. And the context is this. Gideon at the time was dealing with some oppression from some fellow neighbors called the Midianites. And the Midianites were people who was like, how many of y'all, ever seen Friday? I know y'all seen Friday. You need to quit looking at them rated R movies. But Friday was about this one guy named Debo. And every time Debo came around, he was taking everything. Take your rings, your chain, your bubble gum, your mama bubble gum. And so that was like the Midianites. They was Deboites. And these Deboites was just taking everything from Gideon and his family. So one day Gideon got real smart and he said, look, I'm not about to let all these people take my money, my cho, my dough, my fetty, my money, my green, whatever you want to call it. So he said, I'm going to go back here and thresh some wheat in the wine press so they won't get it, so I can have some food for my family. And so God shows up in Gideon's life, and God tells Gideon this when he shows up. He says, Gideon, you a mighty man of valor. I'm with you. And automatically, what Gideon did is he looked around. I can just imagine him looking around saying, is somebody else in the room? Because last time I checked, I'm hiding what I'm producing for fear that they're going to take it. The Deboites, aka the Midianites. And so instantly, like some of us, we ask ourselves, Gideon starts saying, well, if you're with me, then why is all this happening to my family? God says nothing. He just lets him speak. This is his thinking. This is Gideon's thinking. Then he asks the second question, where are all the miracles that my forefathers talking about, referencing the fact that his people at one time in their life were delivered from Egypt? And so God is allowing him to vent his frustrations. And God reiterates the same thing, hoping that Gideon would get it. It's not about your past, but it's about your present so that you can change your future. But Gideon, if you're going to change your future, you have to understand that I'm with you and that you're a mighty man of valor. You are a warrior. I have created you for such a time as this, Gideon, but I need you to think like I am so that I can get you to where you need to go. And that's to deliver your people from these Deboites, aka Midianites. And so then he starts to make more excuses. He says, I'm the weakest in my city. My family is the weakest on the block. We wasn't born for this. We didn't sign up for this, but God still remained calm and allowed him to vent his frustrations. And God said again, you can do it. I'm with you. You can make it. I'm going to use you, Gideon, to deliver a whole nation of people. God was trying to get him, Gideon, to move out of his limited level of thinking, his small level thinking, and take him to a new height in understanding that he had within him the capacity and the ability to do something about his present situation by stepping out in faith and doing what God had called him to do. So my question is, what are you thinking? Can God begin to deal with your thinking like he dealt with Gideon? Gideon didn't think that he was even able to conquer and complete the task that God had called him to. And like some of us, like myself, I have been in situations where I said, I can't do it. But like the Bible says, as a man thinks in his heart, so is he. As a man thinks, whatever you think about yourself, it is so. And to the degree that you live will be to the degree that you think. What are you thinking? Are you thinking like your king? Or are you thinking like the home country of slavery and darkness that you came from? And so I bet you wondering, what about the story? What happened with Gideon? Let me hip you on something, my friend. That's why he in the Bible. In order for you to be a history maker and world changer, you got to make a difference in your life. God has to use you, and so for him to use you, can he change your thinking? He changed Gideon's thinking, and ultimately Gideon helped his people be free from the oppressive dominion of those Deboites. Talk to you later.